What's going on, guys? Your favorite realtor back again. Sorry, I'm taking my time through these videos here. I got a very busy summer with a bunch of weddings, but today I want to talk about something very specific, and it has to do with new construction condos and pre-sale condos and why we're actually going to see far fewer of them coming up in the next 3 to 5 years. I'm essentially going to be covering why it's happening, how it impacts you, the buyer, investor, downsizer, etc., what the future outlook is going to essentially look like over the next 3 to 5 years, and of course, what you should do right now. Okay, so why is it happening? As we've seen in the news over the last several months, Toronto condos are at a standstill. BC condos are at a standstill, especially when it comes to pre-sales and new construction homes. People have a lot of trouble completing on their new construction homes and they're being left vacant. People are walking away from deposits. It's doom and gloom. At least that's what we're hearing. But that is true to an extent. With what's been going on in the market, well, since the first interest rate hike in 2022, everything has gotten harder and harder to afford. And obviously, because of that, because of this economic downturn, because of geopolitical issues, socioeconomic issues, less and less people have been looking at real estate as an investment or for potentially moving purposes as well in the last 3 years. So what does this essentially equate to? Well, financing costs have exploded with high interest rates. And this is true for both the developer and the buyer. Developers specifically have been dealing with high interest rates and also tighter lending rules. And with banks getting a little bit tighter and requiring a little bit more equity from developers in order to get construction financing so they can build out these new projects, it's become more and more difficult for developers to reach those pre-sale targets because less and less people are investing in real estate, buying pre-sales, and especially going towards new condos or something that's going to finish in 2 to 3 years. Most buyers have kind of turned to looking at already built condos if they're a first-time home buyer, downsizer, because they know it's a physical product. They can see it, they can like it, dislike it, whatever the case may be, and they don't have to worry about a project going under. And so because of this, and by this I mean buyers turning away from pre-sales and new construction homes towards resale products or not investing in real estate at all over the next 3 years, or sorry, the past 3 years, what you're seeing is these developers not being able to hit their pre-sale targets of selling 60 to 70% of the development within 1 year before they have to file for disclosure, and therefore not getting financing or construction financing from lenders. At which point the developer either has to give back deposits and the project goes under, or they convert the unsold units and the development for that matter into rental units and purpose-built rentals. Now, a lot of people like to think if a pre-sale project is giving back deposits and that's doom and gloom for the developer, good, they should lower prices if they're going to be selling units. That's not the case. That's not what happens. The developer can very easily, I mean, they will face some hardship, but they can convert the development into purpose-built rentals. And why is that? Well, they're getting a ton of incentives, tax cuts, and there's less red tape. And also, they're able to get financing to finish building the project from local and municipal government support as well as lenders. So developers, if they're not able to hit pre-sale targets, they just convert to rentals. But there's also a reason why we're not going to see too many new construction homes come to the market or pre-sales launching, because developers, yes, you can make money off purpose-built rentals, but it's not as much as you can make by selling the units. So just to recap that really quickly, the reason why this is happening on an overall macro level is one, the financial circumstances, harder to get lending as well as the high interest rates. Two, less pre-sale absorption, less people looking towards pre-sales. That way, developers know there's not a lot of demand for the product. And if there's not a lot of demand, they don't have a lot of incentive to sell. And lastly, they're just going to convert to purpose-built rentals. And like I said before, what's going to be the future outlook? Well, because there's not a lot of demand, developers are smart. They know when it's the right time to sell their product. And if they're not getting that demand for their product, they'll just hit pause. If they're not converting to rentals, they'll just hit pause on the project and wait for demand to build up. So that might take a couple of years. That might take 2 or 3 years. Right now, the market is flooded with condos, especially in BC and GTA as well. So you have to wait for that inventory to essentially be soaked up, used up, before you can release new inventory or for demand to pick up greatly. So developers on purpose are just going to delay their pre-sale launches until federal and provincial governments kind of incentivize pre-sale and new construction home purchases for buyers and investors, as they've kind of already done so with the GST rebate for first-time home buyers, making it, on par with buying a resale condo for first-time home buyers, because the GST thing was pretty big. People like to think that's for first-time home buyers. That's more so for developers. When more buyers go towards pre-sales, it's going to incentivize, from the government's perspective, developers to build more. We'll see if that actually happens. But for right now, things are still at a bit of a standstill. Just in 2025, there have been 25% less new construction starts, with condos leading the way for that, than compared to 2024, which was already reduced from 2023. Now, this outlook is going to be the same for 2026 and 2027, and perhaps 2028 as well. And we're going to see less and less new projects being launched. And this is going to be across the board in Canada, primarily in BC and in GTA, where condo supply was at an all-time high. So what's going to happen is, with less and less new projects coming out, and hopefully interest rates coming down periodically over the next 3 years, that demand will slowly start to build up. And especially if governments start to incentivize pre-sale and new construction home purchases by giving more rebates or credits or anything they can do to get buyers to invest into pre-sales, that's only going to help kind of spike that demand back up. And once that demand builds, then developers will likely release projects at an increased pace compared to what's going on right now. And so you're not going to see this happen for at least another 3 years. And this is not just me saying it. This is the CMHC saying this as well, essentially, that condos will still remain slow in 2026 and 2027, especially in new construction, due to backlogs, bottlenecks due to financing, as well as low buyer sentiment. All of that equates to low demand, and developers know this, so they're not going to release projects in a timely manner. Okay, so how does this impact you, the buyer, investor, downsizer? Well, every smart buyer and investor knows the best time to pick up an investment property, or an asset for that matter, or even your first home, is when nobody else is buying, right? That's when demand is at an all-time low, because that's when pre-sales and developers are giving away the most incentives. That's when they've lowered the prices as much as they can in order to increase the demand. That's the only time you as a buyer investor are going to be able to negotiate, right? It's like very much like a buyer's market on the resale side. The only time you're actually going to win long term is if you pick up properties in buyer's market. It's the same way for new construction homes. When demand does pick up, which it will eventually, it may take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, but it'll pick up eventually. That's when developers are going to raise prices. They're not going to give any incentives, and they're not going to care about, promoting a product extensively. They're going to know that all they have to do is open the doors and people will walk in to invest, because the demand will be high, and because of the supply constraint that will be created, likely, people will have limited options. So if you're waiting for more price drops in the pre-sale and new construction market, you may not get it. So don't wait too long, right? Because what you're going to see happening is developers can only give away so many incentives, do so many credits, and give away so many optional upgrades, because it costs so much to develop for them. So there's only so much they can do. And of course, at the end of the day, if it's easier for them to convert to purpose-built rentals, they're just going to shift to that, where they can still make some money and not have to give away so much to buyers. So at the end of the day, if you're going to wait, don't wait too long, because these price drops that you're expecting may not happen. And from an investment standpoint, this is actually a pretty good setup for long-term players, not for short flips or anything like that. Obviously, supply will be constrained over the next couple of years. We're at an all-time high right now, but it will be reduced with new construction launches, less new construction launches. Demand will pick up slightly year over year, not by much. It'll be a slow run up. So if you're in it for the long term, I'm talking minimum 4 years, as an investor, you won't find condo prices lower than what they are now. There may be another 1-2% drop in the next 6 to 8 months, but beyond that, not much, as we're already seeing price stability come into the market. So if you pick up in the next 3 to 6 months in a good quality project, low deposit, long completion by a reputable developer, long term you will come out a winner. Okay, so what should you do right now? As I've kind of stated throughout this video, now, and I know everybody hates realtors say this, but now is a good time to buy and invest, especially if you have the long-term outlook and you're a first-time home buyer. Downsizers can win in this market too, because you can secure a condo at these low prices and then not move in for 3 to 4 years, right? You can still enjoy your larger home for the next 2, 3, 4 years until that project gets built out, but you don't have to worry about looking for something then. You've already secured something, you were just waiting for it to be finished, right? So this is a good time to look at a good quality pre-sale project that's giving you low deposits, long completions, and some incentives as well. And of course, if you're unsure where to even start, because you just keep seeing marketing regarding pre-sales just about everywhere and you don't know what's good and what's bad and where to look and where to invest, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help support you guys and help you make the right financial decisions so you can actually get a positive net return in the future. So if you have no idea where to start, reach out to me. Just go to my channel link. My contact information is right there. You can schedule a call, you can email me, etc. You can also just leave a comment. I'm happy to reply to comments as well and provide any kind of support that I can. So just reach out to me. I'm happy to help any way that I can. And I'll leave you guys with one last note. So if you're waiting for condos or more options to magically appear, unfortunately, there won't be a lot of options coming into the future for pre-sales and new construction. Developers are just taking their time. They're not building many more. Pre-sales are fewer and more projects are going towards rentals. So now is the most opportunistic time for you to pick up a condo if that's what you're looking for, especially in the pre-sale and new construction market. I'm Sarbir Grewal. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you found what I had to say useful. And of course, I'll see you guys on the next one.